That's how you want them to eat it. Like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hello everyone. I'm back at it again. I've got a little bit of a cold or allergies or something. So I'm going to get right into it and try to keep this video short. So we've got a northwest wind today. It's partly cloudy. And that northwest wind is going right down the pond. I'm on the northwest side right now, so this is supposed to be the calm side, and it's pretty windy. And on the southeast side of the pond, it's very windy. And the game plan today is to go around the pond and see if we can get some fish to eat a mini max chatterbait. So if this was springtime and we had a southwest wind, I'd expect a lot of fish to be in this corner. You're looking at the northeast corner of the pond. But right now it's mid-October and the fish are spread out. So they can be anywhere from the north side of the pond, west side, east side, south side, wherever they can find bait. Or sometimes they're on hard structure this time of year too, but seems to be more about the bait. So wherever the bait is, wherever the food is, that's where the fish are. The Mini Max is a great bait. It's a little bit different than the Jackhammer in a couple ways. Well, the most obvious is that it's smaller, but the vibration is about, I don't know, a quarter of the Jackhammer, maybe a third the Jackhammer. And if you fish a rod that's too heavy, you can't even really feel that blade kicking. So one of the key things of fishing the Mini Max is to fish a rod where you can feel it moving, because if you can't feel it, you can't fish it. At least the way I'm fishing it. You need to be able to feel that blade kicking, because if it's in the weeds and not kicking, that means you need to pop it out of the weeds. So on shore, there's some reeds and I don't know what, taller grass. But off the immediate shoreline, underwater, there's all kinds of weeds. There's coontail, there's cabbage, and there's some other stuff that I don't know all the names. But basically, I'm trying to contact some of that submergent vegetation with the Mini Max, especially on the windy side of the pond. And luckily today, we've got a lot of wind. And when I hit something with the Mini Max, I give it a pop and then pop it free. And you can also pop it just while you're reeling. You don't have to wait till you hit something, but especially when I hit something, I want to pop it free. The rod I'm fishing is it's actually a very inexpensive rod. It's a Daiwa Arid X. And the power is listed as medium heavy. It's really more like a medium plus, I would say. And it's listed as a fast action, but it's really more like a moderate fast. It's not a super fast rod at all. And I haven't found the best rod in my arsenal for throwing the Mini Max, but this is pretty close. I don't want something too soft, because then I can't rip it out of the weeds. If I had something maybe just a little tiny bit softer, I'd be able to keep the fish pinned. So if I get a big fish, what I do is I get that net before he throws the hook. But if they eat it well, it's usually no problem keeping them pinned, and generally they eat it pretty well. It's a small bait, and this time of year in the fall there's a lot of small bait. And they seem, if they're on it at all, they seem to get most of it. I also end up catching a lot of other fish with it. I catch a lot of crappie with the Mini Max. Sometimes I catch perch. Sometimes I catch little pickerel. We got our first fish coming in the boat. That's a little bass, but it's a start. It's telling me that this is working. And I need to keep doing it. So this is just a few casts later. popping it through the weeds. Especially if I get hung up. That's when you want to be ready for a bite, because as soon as it breaks free, a lot of times the fish are there to smash it. That time I couldn't pop free. But you can see some of the weeds. They're mostly green still, but they're starting to die back. It's kind of cool today. Fall is definitely here. Water temperatures are falling. What I'm doing here is making repeated casts to a little pocket. It's kind of hard to tell, but that little pocket connects to kind of a marshy area in the back there. And there's a good bet that bait fish or juvenile panfish would be stationed in front of that little, it's not exactly an inlet, but that little pocket there.
That could be a little better.
And I managed to hook one.
That could be a little better.
You can see that rod bows up pretty nicely. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Could even bow up a little bit more.
Yeah, he's all right. Little mini max. Yeah, not bad. A little skinny.
So the only chatterbait that I fished right out of the package is the Jackhammer, and all the others need some kind of modification. The Mini Max, I replaced the snap with a decoy egg snap 1.5. The 2.0 is what's on the Jackhammer. The 1.5 is rated to 38 pounds, I think, and it's a good snap, but you need to check it. So if you catch a big fish, you need to check that snap, make sure it's not bending out. If you catch a lot of fish, you need to check that snap, make sure it's not bending out. And if it is, you need to put the bait down or replace the snap. And for the trailer, you can use a bunch of things, but what I use is a baby Z2. It's a Z-Man bait, but it's marketed by Strike King. It's very, very similar to the Z-Man jerk shads. And that's because a lot of other fish will pull at the tail of the Mini Max. Perch, sunfish, little pickerel, crappie.
Not bad, not bad.
And the jerk shads or the baby Z2 just holds up much better than other trailers.
Yeah, that's how you want them to eat it. Like that. Yeah, he's all right.
So that last fish ate the Mini Max really well, and that told me that I don't need to switch lures anymore. I've got, I don't know what, 8 rods with me, and once they start eating a bait like that, that means I don't need to switch anymore unless I see something that really speaks to me, like a fallen tree maybe in the water. But for just covering water and casting, I'm sticking with the Mini Max from here on out. I'm sitting down because I'm on the southern end now, and the waves and the wind are stronger down here, and I didn't feel comfortable standing, so I'm sitting down and relaxing for a bit. And I got a crappie coming in the boat. I think I caught 3 or 4 crappie while I was throwing the Mini Max on this particular lake. They really seem to like it. They like some of the other downsized Z-Man chatterbaits too. The advantage of the Mini Max really is that it has a stout hook. So you can catch crappie on it just fine, but if you get a big bass, you also can land it.
There he is. There he is. Oh. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a little better. Come on now. I'm gonna let you go. Yeah, not bad.
Okay, one other thing to mention about the Mini Max is that the skirt isn't the best. There's two ways to fix that. You can trim it like I have on this one up to about the bend in the hook, and that'll make it flare out a little bit easier. If you don't do that, it likes to glue itself to the side of your trailer, which is not what you want. After I wear out the skirt, what I'm going to do is replace it with a Z-Man Easy skirt, and that has a nice flare to it already, and I'll trim it the way I want it. Alright, sun's gone down behind the trees on my left there. The wind still hasn't quit, and it's getting kind of chilly out here. I've had a good day on the water, good afternoon anyway, and it's time for me to head back to the ramp. But I hope some of these tips on the Mini Max about the trailer and trimming the skirt and replacing the snap will help you catch a few more fish this fall on the Mini Max. It really is a great bait. It's good for all kinds of species, but I especially like it for bass when they're on smaller bait or they don't seem too keen on eating a jackhammer. It's a really good bait for pressured fish that have seen all kinds of chatterbaits, and it probably should be in your arsenal. Okay, that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!